The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the Morning Crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
Well, if we ever need a proof of life for you from you this morning, now's it. 312-591-8300 after the last 24 hours, or really just the last, 13 to 14 hours when the tornadoes hit the area. How wild was it? I was picking up Harper from daycare and then heading over to Mariano's, get a little stuff for dinner.
Mariano's.
Mariano's.
Not Mariano's. Who the hell calls it Mariano's?
I said Mariano's.
Mariano's.
It's Mariano's.
It's not Mariano's.
Case, can you help me with this? Come in here and just say the word. Case, the producer, before we get started.
Mariano's.
Yeah, Mariano's.
No. Wow. You call it Mariano's? Where are you from?
It's Mariano's.
Mariano's.
Case, say Mariano's.
It's Mariano's.
Thank you.
You just always side with her.
That's
He
not
has to
true.
does that. Yes, he does.
He argues with me all the time.
He was.
And he knows that.
That is also true.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, good Lord. So I'm over at Mariano's getting some food for, and all of a sudden we come out and it says tornado warning. The phones start going up a little like on your phone. And I'm like, wait a minute, it was just raining. There can't be a tornado here downtown in Wrigleyville. It can't be happening. And wow, the sirens were going off and it was insane. Now, we didn't really, Case texted me and goes, hey, where are you at? I'm over in Logan Square. What's going on? I go, well, it's just raining. And it's a little weird. The sky looks kind of dark and the sun's half out. It's very weird.
To be clear, I didn't text you at that time, Kinsey, because I knew it was bad by you. I didn't need an update. I was watching the news.
I was also unfortunately driving because it came out of nowhere. It was just raining.
So you were driving too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Driving to a restaurant, and I was like, do you think they're still serving? Or
Because I'm kind of hungry. What are we going to do here?
In this scenario, can promise my family some dinner here.
Well, you were out in Elgin where it was more like ground zero than where we were.
It was insane. So a few minutes from my house, I mean, people's roofs and stuff came off. We were very lucky. My mother-in-law lives like 4 minutes from us, and she had 30 houses in her neighborhood destroyed. Easily.
Wow.
It touched down.
Is that still in Elgin or was that next door?
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
God.
She was in she lives in an elderly community, literally down the street from us. Like we can just buzz over and see her.
Damn.
There was touchdowns. Just surrounding us. It was unbelievable how many hit. That Portillo's picture that's circulating, I sent it to you guys last night of people stuck in line because really there was a million people out because it went from rain to tornado in like seconds.
Came out of nowhere.
I mean, not all of us are storm trackers. So we're like, oh, it's just raining. It didn't look crazy. It was lightly raining, then out of nowhere it was heavy raining, and then all of a sudden the alarms were going off. So people were in that insane Portillo's line, which you can be in for like 30 minutes, and there's a tornado just behind the Portillo's right there. People were stuck.
I'm staying though. If I'm in that line already, I'm staying.
Mid-line, you can't even get out.
Yeah.
I mean, you were boxed in. If you're in the inside lane, like people couldn't move.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
It was really scary when you were stuck in lines as if you couldn't move.
They weren't still serving people, were they? Because Portillo's likes to have the people outside the drive-through, kind of guiding you along the way. They were inside, right?
I'm sure they were outside when the tornado hit because nobody knew.
Oh my God!
One of the Portillos, I think it was from that location, was on the news this morning on WGN earlier and said, a window blew out and the
There
man.
was also one in Streamwood. I don't know what the deal. I think Portillo's is behind the tornadoes because the publicity they received yesterday. Everything happened in a Portillo's.
Well, ABC 7, where Cheryl Scott, your girl, was on, and Greg Dutra, they were going back and forth, and he was saying, I'm sitting there with Megan inside, it's coming down toward Wrigleyville. He goes right by the Portillo's out there on Addison. And he stopped and he went like, yeah, you know where I eat, right? And I was like, dude, you're awesome.
And then I watched the news next to my girlfriend. I go, God, it's like Brian's doing the weather. Why is this guy talking about Portillo's? This sucks.
Oh my God, everything happened next to Portillo's, like all the viral, because Elgin was obviously all over the news last night, and we watched it after the storm warnings were on later because these are all of our friends live in all these neighborhoods and everything. So we're watching it. And a Portillo's pops up. And we're like, oh, that's our Portillo's. I'm like, no, it's not. That's Streamwood. Wait, that one's Addison. Like, why did everything happen? What is going on?
Yeah, we're attracted there. But please check in, 312-591-8300. Want to hear about what happened in your hood? Is your house okay? And as far as we heard, there was no injuries of people, which is obviously the number one priority. But like you said, when you get your roof torn off your house, how devastating is that today to call an insurance company and say, so I've been paying that thing for 30 years. It's time for you to pay back. Oh, I'm sorry. We lost your file. I don't know. We'll have to go through.
There's always hoops to jump through. I'm not going to lie. We do not have the best house insurance, so we always get really nervous. We did skimp in that area. My husband's opinion is if our entire house gets caught on fire or blown over or whatever, we already have big problems. And I'm like, well, okay.
He's not wrong.
He's like, I don't think it's going to fix everything. I'm like, well. Yeah. So we'd essentially just have to pay for an entirely new house. So I get very stressed out when storms come through.
I'd love to hear from an insurance agent today. We're talking a lot of people involved in the media and, of course, things going on. But
if anyone has a better deal,
hit up Kenzie, yeah.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Cannot wait for picnic with Giovanni and the Hired Guns. It's Q101, Brian and Kenzie. And Brian from Bloomingdale got the tickets. And
where my hubby's from.
Bloomingdale?
Yeah.
All right.
I wonder if he was a Lake Park Lancer.
Wait, Lake Park Lancer was the high school name there for that?
Yeah, the Lake Park Lancers.
The Lake Park Lancers?
I mean, yeah.
Were they known for sword fighting?
Well, that's it's better than what my high school was.
What was yours?
We were the Ponies.
The Ponies.
It sucked. And we used to be the Stallions, and someone complained that it was sexist because stallions are only male horses, and then we'd become the ponies.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, okay, somebody's mom has got her panties in a bunch, and now her mascot sucks. No one else complained about it.
All right. Way to go, Lancers.
So Lancers is way better than our name.
Yay.
What was your high school name?
We were the Wildcats.
So generic.
It's the most generic, the most used name in high school.
Everybody's the Wildcats. I feel like you made that up.
I did not make it up. We were the Wildcats.
From where?
I was born in Ohio. It was the Sylvania Northview Wildcats.
That's a long name.
Well, the city's...
When you throw Wildcats on the end.
Yeah, the Northview Wildcats.
So you guys should have been the Stallions, too, like the Slovenia Stallions.
That would have been okay, I guess. But also our competitor high school was the Southview Cougars. So we were the Wildcats, they were the Cougars.
I bet your mascot looked almost identical.
They just changed the colors. That's all they did. Hey, what was your high school mascot? Check in. But listen, we got more tickets coming up. If you didn't get those picnic tickets, coming up at 7:20, Renaissance Fair tickets in Clash with Kenzie. 8 o'clock, Ticket Blitz Thursday, 4-day passes to sold-out Lollapalooza. So be here at 8 and 9 a.m. for sure, top of the hour for those tickets. And coming up in facts to make your brain go, a lot of controversy yesterday. Oh, my explosion won't go. The tornado ruined it. There we go. A lot of controversy with my hamster fact yesterday.
Because apparently it didn't check out great.
Well, no, we
had a lot of complaints.
I have an update on it. So almost every single hamster in the world is descended from a pair of hamsters in Syria from the 1930s who were brother and sister.
And I said, who was their mom?
Right. Well, I have that answer for you coming up here.
Oh, thank God.
At 6:30 in the facts. It blows your mind.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Well, it's time for a fact that makes your brain just go. As far as I know, no hamsters were hurt in the tornado either yesterday. So the tornado's all the way around, and that was our hamster fact yesterday. I'm just happy about that. Thoughts and prayers for everybody.
You're just making stuff up. You have no idea if there was a hamster harmed.
Did people take their hamsters down their basements when you were told to get safe yesterday? I want to know that.
When I was in Minnesota, there was a lot. When I was growing up in Minnesota, there was a lot of tornadoes. It's aggressive there. And I would bring...
They run free there and rampant?
It's just there's so many. You become desensitized to it. Like when I lived in Florida, I was desensitized to hurricanes.
Yeah.
Because they're always talking about them. And then when I lived in Minnesota, I became very desensitized to tornadoes. Doesn't make them less severe, but you just do that when it's like snow. To people in Illinois, when there's a snowstorm, you're just kind of desensitized to it.
Yeah.
So I always brought my hermit crabs in the basement, though. My mom would get mad. Like, don't bring those crabs down here.
The roof's going off the house. I've got to get to the crabs.
I'm in like 7th grade. Like, cut me some slack here. I want to save the crabs.
Little Hermie. He's up there in the bedroom.
Like losing my life trying to grab
Yeah. So,
Dopey and Grumpy were the names of my crabs.
What were they called?
Dopey and Grumpy.
I understand Dopey.
I wanted 7, and I was going to name them after each of the dwarfs, and my mom cut it off at 2. So then I just had
You were grumpy, so you named the poor
Dopey
hermit
and
crab Grumpy. That was thrust upon him unfairly, that name.
And the Dopey one kept falling over. He was always on his back. And so I was like, okay.
Isn't that what they do, hermit crabs? They just kind of roll it. They put their legs in the air and you flip them over.
Puppies. They're not supposed to roll.
We've got a hermit crab pit coming up at Picnic. You jump in there with the hermit crabs. All right, back to the fact yesterday that caused a lot of controversy on the show. That almost every single hamster in the world descended from a pair of hamsters in Syria in the 1930s who were brother and sister. There's a lot going on there that's wrong. That's called incest in the hamster world and the human world, too. And people...
More importantly, the human world.
And a lot of crew members, and then Kenzie led the charge on that, well, who was the mother? I mean, if they were brother and sister, they were the first hamsters.
Kind of a chicken and an egg scenario going on.
Well, there has been a search since the beginning of time, or at least the last 100 years, 90 years of hamsters, searching for the golden hamster. They call it the golden hamster.
What do I mean? That
basically started from immaculate conception and then had that brother and sister hamster, and then those had two, and they had two, and they had two, and went on.
So they don't know.
They have some kind of evidence, kind of like aliens, that there's a golden hamster that started it all. And they're trying to figure out the origin of that. There's scientists and there's grant money out there searching for this, for the golden hamster.
Well, it's probably not still alive. Was searching for it where?
No, they're searching for
like it's just like on a wheel in Syria hanging out like it's gone.
Well, people still look for Jesus stuff and Jesus isn't alive anymore.
That is wildly different.
Well, it's actually the same. But if you're not alive and there's still remnants of what you did.
What type of path did this hamster leave? People are looking for like scripture written by Jesus.
This hamster somehow birthed 2 other hamsters, and this one didn't come from birth.
So here's the deal. They have no idea where hamsters came from. Because how did this hamster end up pregnant?
There's been explorers investigating the deserts in Syria looking for the evidence of the golden hamsters. There's been little clues here and there. Little clues of what happened.
You did such a crappy job researching this last night. We told you.
I did not. This is the truth. And
what were the golden nuggets they found? If you did such a good job researching it, what were they?
The golden nuggets.
You said they found little golden nuggets that prove. What are they?
Okay, here's what I found out.
Oh, God.
They call the golden hamster when it translates from Arabic to English, and it comes out to Mr. Saddlebags.
That's so cute.
And they still are researching where this one hamster
Mrs.
is.
Saddlebags
That's
in high school.
So there you go. Listen, I'll keep you updated on this every day if I have to. If you really want me to. We'll do a hamster fact every day, but there is a golden hamster out there. The quest for that
How did it become pregnant, Brian?
Immaculate conception.
So it was like the Mary?
Yes.
Just like God put like hamster babies in it?
Mr. Saddlebags or Mrs. Saddlebags.
She was a virgin.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
All right. We threw out a conversation about the mascots. How did we get there, the high school mascots? I can't remember.
I don't know. I just know it was the ponies and it sucked.
Oh, yes. Yours was the stallions. And then a mom got her panties in a bunch and said that's sexist.
Because stallions are only male horses.
Right. I'm sorry. So they changed it to ponies. How did they pull that off with all of the merch and the name? Like, did everybody have to throw away all their old merch and then get new merch?
I mean, yeah, they changed everything.
That's impossible. That's crazy.
They painted the side of the stadium with a different name, all of it, because it was sexist.
Was it the same horse or was it a little horse when they painted it? Ponies are smaller.
So we kept the stallion and just called it a pony. Just stupid.
You cannot cave in to one person and then becomes, even if it's a mob.
No one cared. Like, I wasn't like, well, I can't succeed because stallions are only male. I didn't think that I couldn't go to college. You know, come on.
I mean, yeah.
If that affects you, if you're walking around and you're like, the mascot to my school's male, I can't succeed in life, you have issues. That should not knock you down that hard.
There's states like North and South Dakota that are for those people. We ship them there. Let them fight about themselves.
There's such bigger problems in the world, but
whatever. A few. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and you guys checked in with your high school mascot names going around Chicagoland, Indiana, Wisconsin. What do we got, Kenzie?
I love this one. So 2 people texted in. Gabriel has his name on it, but he went to Elk Grove.
Yep.
And they were the Grenadiers, which is a French soldier who threw grenades. And I thought when I read, I thought it said grenadine, like the stuff you put in to make your drink sweet. I'm like, that's an interesting mascot.
That makes, what do you call it? A Shirley Temple, I think, has grenadine in it.
Temples. You can make a lot of stuff with grenadine.
I would love to see, and Gabriel or whoever else out there went to the Elk Grove Grenadiers High School. What'd your letter jacket look like? Text a picture, and I want to see
like
what
a grenade, like an explosion.
Yeah, like what the logo looked like, the Grenadiers.
Someone else texted in and said they were the Satellites.
The Satellites.
The Satellites.
Oh, I see that. Aaron from South Central Union Mills, Indiana, the Satellites.
And I wonder, and I asked, he hasn't responded yet. I go, was the mascot literally a large satellite?
Yeah.
You think that you'd have to do that, but maybe you're like a shooting star or something? I don't know.
That's difficult for the cheerleaders. How do you come up with cheers around these names? You know?
Satellite. Well, it rhymes with a lot.
Yeah? You want to make one up?
Satellite. We got the might. Let's go fight.
You know what? That's not bad.
There you go.
That's not bad.
I'm just riffing. Call me Eminem, baby.
My bad. Jeez. Who wants to rap battle Kenzie today?
Yeah. I just was like very simple rhymes there.
Well, the most coming in are Mustangs and Wildcats around Chicagoland. The Kankakee Valley Cougars with a K. Everyone makes fun of the spelling, because Kankakee with a K. So Cougars. Kankakee. Cougars. But yeah, I was the Wildcats, which is the most boring ever. But
we got a lot of Mustang texts. I feel like Wildcats and Mustangs are the two most popular. Like if you're making a movie about a high school, they're either going to be the Wildcats or the Mustangs.
Yeah, go ahead and text in there.
You okay there?
I'm choking up a little. I'm getting choked up about.
Emotional. You miss high school?
I'm thinking about my high school days with the Wildcats. It's Q101. Keep checking in. We have Gil with your headlines on the way. Remember, at 7:20, Renaissance Fair tickets in Clash with Kenzie.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. People can't let go of the mascot conversation. It started because Kenzie talked about her husband going to the Bloomingdale. They were the Lancers?
They were the Lake Park Lancers.
The Lake Park Lancers.
Well, because our winner was from Bloomingdale, and I'm like, oh, did you go to Lake Park? And then you started making fun of the Lancers, which is a little rude. It's not that bad.
It's kind of bad, but then I found there's worse out there.
There's some. I love them. I think mascots are so fun because we got a text. So Sam texted him. They were South Elgin, and they were the Storm, and their mascot looks like a little tornado.
Oh, timely.
And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then they responded, it goes, no, because it looks like a garbage can. And now that I'm looking at it from that perspective, I could see where Sam is coming from.
One of the freshmen made the logo.
I'm like, okay.
Also, Brian checked back in from Union Mills in Indiana. The mascot was Satellites, the Satellites, but it was a spaceman. It was a spaceman, not a satellite himself. So
they were the Satellites, and then their mascot was a spaceman.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, but it would be funny if there was a massive satellite just walking around.
I don't know if he's joking here, but he said the next town over was the Wantanah Midgets.
No.
I'm not sure if he's joking on that one or not.
You can't say that.
Why? I know. But
he just said it live on the radio.
I'm just saying maybe that was the actual thing. Maybe that was the high school's mascot.
No way.
Are you playing with me, Brian? I apologize.
You just said it live on the radio. It's like when somebody gives you one of those fake names.
Yeah.
Like, Bend Over wants a birthday shout out. Way to go, Brian.
Gil, take over.
This is not headline news. Britney Spears is releasing an autobiography. It's published by Random House, which is also where Britney wakes up every morning. This year's Farm Aid will feature Neil Young, Willie Nelson, and John Mellencamp. To add youth to the lineup, the opener will be Beethoven. Harrison Ford turns 81 today. He's already working on his next project, Indiana Jones and the CBS primetime lineup. And today is National Barbershop Music Appreciation Day, which means Christmas has come early for the very old and very white. This is not headline news.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.